taste it? Yes, I do. I do really want to taste it, Julian, because it's a hungry world, you know, and it'll eat you alive. And yeah, that's probably enough Peacemaker quotes and shout-outs there. Great theme song, great show. I love Peacemaker, you know. I know I'm a little late to this figure, and Season 2 has already finished and wrapped up. Great seasons to say, nonetheless. And hey, better late than never, you know. This figure looks awesome. I wanted to get 2 of him because looking at the package here, it just looks so cool and so unique compared to other collector's editions or the theatrical editions that McFarlane has done. I love the yellow color scheme. And I have to say, this here, see this? A full box. A nice full box of accessories. This is what this, you know, priced tier edition of figures should be expected to come with. Like, not like the Batman Returns wave, which I just reviewed last, which, as if you watch those videos, you know, I was pretty upset by how empty the boxes were. But here, the box is nice and full. You get 2 helmets, get an extra head sculpt, get the helmet head sculpt, we get the pistol, and we get Eagly. You know, it's a nice spread that all makes sense for the character. But yeah, I love the yellow color scheme on here. Got a nice big picture of Peacemaker there at on the back, and it looks like they kind of cleverly kind of blurred out the swear word there, where it says "Peace out, mother effer." But yeah, Peacemaker the series. This is super cool. Got big Peacemaker logo down the side. Just an awesome looking figure. Yeah, without further ado, let's get John Cena out of the box here and see how he looks in hand. All right, here we got Peacemaker out of the box. I like that he kind of came, or like they posed him and, like, you know, with the hands on the hips kind of look, you know, I guess as if he's doing the dance in the opening intro. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this Peacemaker looks really good in hand here. Really nice detail. I mean, this is a reuse, partially, well, actually mostly, of the Peacemaker figure that came with the Suicide Squad wave. I actually didn't pick up that one, so I can't compare it here, but looking at the images, it looks like they did add a few nice touches or touch-ups, like this whole belt here with the vials on the side, I don't believe was on the first one. He's got a holster for his gun too, which I think the gun band effect was in at that time. So actually, I don't know if, does the gun stick out that much? I would kind of thought it would maybe poke through the opening in the bottom there, but I guess it sticks out that much. That looks a little silly. Anyway, yeah, he's got some nice touch-ups. It's kind of a nice 2.0 version of that figure. The paintwork is really nice, the silver on the helmet. I believe it's an all-new head sculpt, though. The John Cena head sculpt, which we'll look at in a sec, is new, but I believe this one, because it looks to be the exact same, at least in, like, the bottom portion. I think this is a brand new head sculpt, yeah. I love the look of the helmet there with the kind of teal blue ribbon on it. Because it is a reuse of the older figure, he's got some of those, you know, old issues with the earlier McFarlane figures, like these kind of old ankle joints, which really, as you can see, like, he has a hard time standing on his own here. Like, he just keeps falling over. So you're really going to need one of these stands to just get these older style figures to stand up properly. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's just something to keep in mind. I like the clean bicep cuts right at the sleeve there too. That's nice. Of course, he's got all the big pins though, and the double jointed elbows and knees. No ab crunch either, just a swivel at the waist. And that's about it for articulation. He also doesn't come with any extra hands, so he's got 2 sort of gun holding hands. So you can put the gun in either one, but you know, it would have been nice to maybe have some fist hands for him to, you know, go punchy punch or whatever. So here's a look at that face sculpt, and yeah, it's pretty good. You know, the helmet is really well painted all the way around. I do have a little bit of a red dollop on his blue chest plate thing there, so that is a bit of a paint issue, but It's not the end of the world. I could go in and clean that up. These helmets too. So these helmets just pop off to give kind of an unsightly look at John Cena there, but you know, this big thing and then his forehead that just plugs into the other helmets. So yeah, there's helmet number 2. Takes a little bit of a fiddling with to get on properly and kind of line up, but this one's a bit more of a dome. It's kind of like that torpedo head kind of look. And then he's got this one, which is actually pretty unique, and I don't remember right off the bat which episode this was from or if he actually ever wore it in the show, but it looks cool. I like the different shape. I like that it's got kind of the teal blue at the base of it as well. Not bad at all. And then, of course, he's also got this unmasked John Cena head, which is completely new. And, you know, yeah, it looks pretty good in terms of the likeness. It does look more like maybe a cartoon version of John Cena rather than like a realistic depiction of John Cena. But I think it kind of works, and, you know, it makes it so that he could fit in with, like, both your, you know, comic characters and live action figures. It's, you know, for the price point and the scale, it's a pretty good likeness. You know, they got the smirk, they got the butt chin. I think it's just in the eyes there that something, it just looks a little bit more cartoony than realistic. I also do have, you might have seen a little paint nick on the eyebrow there. It is kind of noticeable. Hey, maybe I'll just tell myself it's a scratch or something from his helmet. I don't know, but he looks pretty good. I like the smile. It's definitely more like hero Peacemaker rather than, you know, kind of mercenary for hire Peacemaker. It's a happy Peacemaker. Yeah, it looks pretty good here, you know. You can have him kind of hold the helmet, maybe tuck it in his arm or something. Now, of course, the main accessory that Peacemaker comes with here is Eagly. Unfortunately, you know, while it's a really nice eagle, unfortunately, it doesn't really clip on to his arm in any way. I kind of wish maybe they had something for the claws to, like, you know, maybe on his gauntlet just to, like, plug into so that you could do, you know, a kind of pose, right, where he's called Eagly and he's landed on his arm. Yeah, you know, it's a nice eagle. It's a nice looking eagle. It's nicely painted. You know, you see the beak there. Looks like Eagly from the show. I like the, you know, the feathers and the texture and the sculpt work here. It's a really nice eagle piece. I just wish they maybe included something to display him with the figure, like whether that be maybe a little stand or just somewhere for him to plug into on the Peacemaker figure. Because otherwise now I'm going to have to use like either some string or some tape or figure out something clever to kind of display him with. So I don't know, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I mean, like, you know, I can maybe kind of do something like that, like kind of have Eagly just kind of precariously balanced on his arm there. Like, that looks kind of cool, I guess, but I don't know. You know, I'm going to have to play with it and figure something out. As for other accessories, though, you do get this pretty cool looking trading card there. I love the color and the artwork, foil going down. That looks pretty neat. Very, very groovy, very, you know, 70s piece kind of era. So let's see, the data file. Following events of the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker returns from his encounter with Bloodsport, only to discover that his freedom comes at a price. I guess that's a good synopsis of the first season of the show, at least, which, yeah, I guess this figure is technically from. Yeah, overall, really cool figure. I'm really happy with this Peacemaker. I think, like, if you're a fan of the show, this is definitely a pickup. For inbox collectors, he looks great. For out-of-box collectors, yeah, he has a lot of presence on the show. I mean, Peacemaker now, from going from like a character nobody heard of to now being a household name. I mean, that's the James Gunn effect right there. And people see this guy on the shelf, like, I think they're gonna know who he is now, right? It's very identifiable, you know, as Peacemaker, as John Cena. Love the spread of accessories. The extra helmets are awesome. Would have liked a couple extra hands, you know, a couple fisticuff hands and maybe something else there. But the gun is a great addition.
as is Eagly, even though he doesn't fit in anywhere obvious. I might just keep him perched on his back here like that. That's kind of cool, and I'm kind of digging it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Peacemaker figure and whether or not you love the show, and how do you think Peacemaker is going to come back in the DCU now that, I guess, spoiler alert, you know, he's trapped in Salvation at the end of season 2. So I'm expecting maybe Superman and the gang, maybe they're going to go bust him out of there once they figure out what's going on. That'll be pretty cool to see. But yeah, nonetheless, this is an awesome figure. I think it is worthy of the collector's edition price tag. Unlike some of the other, you know, theatrical figures we've been getting of late, this is probably the first one that I actually feel like I got my money's worth from buying it. So kudos to McFarlane Toys for that. You know, he seems to have like one hit out of every, you know, 5-10 figures maybe. So, but those hits are pretty good hits. So anyway, yeah, I think if you picked up the Suicide Squad one, I don't know if it's worth upgrading, but if you didn't get a Peacemaker figure, this is definitely the one to get. So that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I'm digging this figure. Let me know what you guys think, and catch you on the next one.